Hi, my name is Marko Persic, and I'm the General Manager for Dynamics 365 Business Central. I'm extremely excited to be here today to introduce to you this great new product we're launching. It is a modern solution for modern businesses. As we're launching this product, I would first like to take a look at the market and the typical requirements of the businesses in the market. What we see today is that businesses quickly outgrow their basic accounting system and legacy ERP systems. As they do that, they have siloed systems that are not very well connected together. They have duplicate data, they have manual processes, and insufficient reporting across the different solutions. All this drives inconsistent operations of a business, which ultimately in some situations results even in non-secure processes for how they operate their business. Let's take a typical example. A business will acquire a financial management solution, and quickly they'll realize they need a solution to run a sales and service organization, a typical CRM system. As they move forward, they quickly realize the processes they need to manage the supply chain management require another system. Then they will realize they also have a project management solution that they need to integrate with their systems, and an operations management solution. As they look at these different silos, the reporting and analytics are insufficient for them to run a successful business. Because of that, we introduce to you an all-in-one business management solution from Microsoft, Dynamics 365 Business Central. Dynamics 365 Business Central enables businesses to connect their businesses, make smarter decisions faster, and start very quickly and easily, and then grow from there as their business needs evolve. Let's talk a little bit about connecting your business. As businesses operate, they have multiple different processes that integrate across the organization to drive the top and bottom line of the business. Financial management, sales and service management, project management, supply chain management, operations management are all processes that have different workflows that integrate with each other for the success of the business. Without having clear insights across these different processes and be able to drive consistent reporting and predictive analytics, companies cannot make the right decision in the right time. Dynamics 365 Business Central enables organizations across these processes to drive these predictive insights, consistent reporting, and make smart decisions faster. I'd like to now invite Yannick to show us the first demo of Dynamics 365 Business Central and how customers can run their processes unified with this product.
So, thank you, Marko. Let me take over here and actually demonstrate Business Central. And first thing you see here is the new, modern, fresh UI for Business Central. When you wake up in the morning here, you get your business insights directly on the screen. You get intelligence about your company. In this case, it says that I've closed 6 more deals than in the same period last year. So every day, Business Central will go through the data, find what's interesting for you to know, and you can then wake up, cannot wait to get into the system and see what's news today. And what we've concentrated building here is actually the key functionality that you need within your role center. In this role center, I am the business manager, so we concentrated on functionality that a business manager would like to see. First of all, we start at the top of the screen. We have all the functionality that this role would normally access. In this case, I have the finance functionality. I could open it and I could go further into the system whether I want to see my journals, my sales budgets, purchase budgets, and so on. I could go to cash management where I basically manage my payment, my cash, and so on, and continue finding that place I want to look at. But before I do that, first of all, I want to scroll through, see if there's any important actions or anything I should look into. I can see that today we have overdue sales invoices, and I can drill into what we call the emphasized queues here and see directly what are these invoices. And once I've looked at that, maybe take an action, sending out finance memo charges and so on, I can go back and continue on my role center here to see that there are some sales quotes. I looked at them yesterday, so I'm not going to look into them today. But if we scroll down a little bit here, we can see that there are incoming documents for me. So if I look at the incoming documents, this is where I get electronic invoices in, and I can see that there are 2 documents for me to take action on. The first one has already been processed in the what we call optical character recognition. You can see it says OCR status success. This means that the document has basically been translated into machine-readable format. So if I go into the document, everything that before was just a PDF file, you can see that here, has then been extracted, and now we know who the vendor was, the document date, and so on, the currency code, all that is taken from this document. So I don't need to wake up and start entering a lot of information. I can basically just with a few clicks and buttons here, do my daily work. In this case, I will go and create the journal lines for it. Once that is done, I can open the record, and now it will basically show my journal. I could continue, and with one of the things that's really strong in Business Central are the unlimited dimensions. So in this case, I could put a department code, and I could say that this is a large customer. So whatever these are defined by company. So the company has defined that these are the department code they use or customer codes they use. You can define unlimited for this for further analysis later. Once I've entered this information, I can go ahead and either post it directly into my finance transactions, or I can go and say edit in Excel. So let me try that. And when it opens my Excel here, and now I have a journal in Excel, and I can continue to work within Excel on my journal. I could change the name here. So we give you the option basically to have a choice of whether you want to work within Business Central, or maybe you're more familiar or have users that are more familiar with Excel, and they can now continue the work within Excel and do the changes there. And once that is done, they can go ahead and publish those changes back to Business Central. Now we've recorded the entries. Let's jump back and continue from here. So I'll go back to my role center again. I'll basically just look for further information. I can see here it's been updated with live data. When I've changed something in the system, my top 5 customers are now updated. I can see whether there are any approvals for me. But I can also see the trial balance directly from within my role center and see if there's anything I need to pay attention to today. And further down here, you can see we have the embedded Power BI reports. So with embedded Power BI reports, I can of course do further analysis, and I can even directly from Business Central expand the report, which then opens up Power BI, and I can now work with the data, analyze it even further from within Power BI. So now you can see the same data that I just had in Business Central. You can see it here on the screen, and you can further analyze it from within Power BI. So I can basically just here go back and continue my work. I can also print my reports either to a PDF, or maybe I want to print it to Excel, because some people like to maybe do some editing to the reports, coloring, column layouts, and so on. And hence, I can go and say Excel reports here on my role center and basically take my trial balance. And now that is done, you can see here, it's open my trial balance in Excel. And again, I can do further editing here. I can also, if somebody posts something, I can refresh and get, again, live data from within Excel. So this concludes my first demo here, which is really about what you can do from within the Business Central roles and how we optimized it to a fresh and modern UI and made available also integration to other Microsoft products. In this case, I've demonstrated both Power BI and also Microsoft Excel. So this next demo will actually start from within Outlook. Some users, they are used to work within Outlook. They read their emails. They want to take actions directly from within their emails. So instead of them switching out, for example, in this case to Business Central, we have enabled it so that you can work with Business Central from within Outlook. In this case here, I have got an email, somebody asking for a quote for 2 desks and 16 chairs in this case. And I could now start typing that in. But as again, you saw before, we want to limit the number of times you have to enter data, but instead focus on productivity. So I can actually click the little Business Central icon here. And the first thing I want to do is actually look into this customer and get some information about this contact. What will happen now is Business Central will actually connect and bring up the information for this customer. So now on this screen, I can see some key information about this customer. This is Coho Winery. I can see that there are some past invoices that they haven't paid. I can also see that there are some opportunities for them from my Dynamics 365 for sales. I can also see there are some cases from customer service. So I could open those cases, just look into it and see, are there anything I should be aware of? That's not really here. So going back here, I want to start working on this quote or this request for quote here. I can click on create the new document icon. So I will go and open up a sales quote. The user here wants to get access directly to the sales quotes. So by doing this, I can now see that the system has used intelligence to read through the email and actually identified that there are some names that looks like the products we sell. We can actually see here on the screen, it's added the corresponding item numbers, and it's Athens and Paris guest share here, and even the quantities are put in. So these are suggested lines. I could go ahead and I could edit, but I'm fine because everything is perfect here. So as a user, we build it so that they would accept this, and the rest is now created. I could just basically send this right away, or in this case, I now remember that I spoke to this customer about a discount, and I can go down and work with the quote like I would do it within Business Central and add the discount directly here on the screen. I can now take the next step in the process and send this by email. So we're basically giving the tools to the end user directly in the product that they prefer to work with. In this case, it's Outlook. And now you can see the email is generated. It's created as a beautiful looking PDF as well. I could actually open that PDF right here on the screen using one of the templates that comes within Business Central. So here you can see it's created, and now I can basically just go ahead and send it. So in this case, we now sent the quote. Let's just assume the process will go on and there will be an order and we will create an invoice. And hopefully that's all. But sometimes the customer will then maybe call, there's some service to be carried out. And this is exactly what happened in this case. They called and needed a leg fixed on one of the chairs here. So within Business Central, we now also have the service order capability. So you can see here, I opened that screen directly and I've now created a new service order. Let's just drill into it. So with the service order management functionality, in this case, you can see it's about fixing the broken leg on that Paris chair. I can key in the repair items. I can even start planning the dispatch and other things with service order management within Dynamics 365. So this is the full functionality in terms of service order management that is now available here. So we just saw a demo starting from within Outlook because we want to enable the user to work within the system they are working in, prefer to work in. Some users also start their day in Dynamics 365 for sales. So we've done the same thing here with Business Central, made sure that there's a very strong integration. So in this case, I have Dynamics 365 for sales on my screen. I want to go and see the orders. So I open the sales orders created here. And let me just go to the last one created, because I know that's for Coho Winery, and that's the one created for one of the customers that we have in Business Central. So this user opens and uses sales. And now as part of the process, they've already submitted the sales order. I can see this in the status here, and that means that it's been sent to Business Central. So let's actually go and see if we can find this order. Is called sales order 3. Let's see if we can find the same one Business Central. So I'll jump back to my role center, and now I need to jump in and look at my sales orders. So I can very quickly go here and just open sales orders, and we can see that there is a sales order for Coho Winery, sales order 3. And if I open it, you can now see that the information on this sales order is exactly the same as the one we had in Dynamics 365 for sales. So we make sure that we synchronize the customers, the contacts, the price list, unit of measure, everything you need to have a strong integration between the Business Central product and Dynamics 365 for sales. So this illustrates the strong integration between the several Dynamics 365 products. So let me now switch to a different demo. So now let's have a look at actually how I procure items, because we looked at how we sell items and all the great tools that can help us improve that part. But let's also look at the end-to-end processes for procure to pay. If we start with the items, I mean, you can do this from many places within the system, but if we start from the items and open that, first of all, what we get here on the screen are the embedded Power BI reports. And I get some key information about my items. In this case, I've opened the atom desks here and get some information about items available and so on. What we also added on this screen, if I scroll down a little bit here, is we added the sales forecast, the inventory forecast here. And we're actually using AI to calculate this. We look at past transactions. We look at what happened basically within the system here, how much we sold and so on, in which periods, and then we predict what will the inventory be in the future. So in this case, I can see that I need to take action because my inventory is going minus here. So again, we try to enable the user to take the actions from where they are. In this case, I basically can go here as a user, just create a purchase order directly from this screen. So when I do this, it comes up with the purchase order and I can now send it. But we also added intelligence in the system in terms of giving notifications to the user. What if we tell them right here on the screen that there is also more items that are running out of stock? And that's what we can do here. We can basically add them to this document because this supplier normally also sells other items that are running out of stock. So here we're showing how we improve the productivity, in this case, in the procurement process. So procuring items is one thing. Of course, also Business Central now comes with manufacturing functionality. So we enabled the full suite of manufacturing functionality, for example, my production forecast. So let me go and just switch to my production forecast. And as you can see here, I keyed in a production forecast for this one sold guest chair. And I've done it on a day view. I could change that day view to do it per month, per week, per quarter, and so on. And that production forecast is then used to calculate what I need to purchase. I'm now in the requisition worksheet, and this is where I can go now and calculate my plan. Basically, what is it I need to produce? What is it I need to buy? So I will, in this case here, use my forecast, and the forecast I keyed in before was called Sales 2018. So when I carry out this, it will basically then have calculated what it is I need to produce to fulfill demand here. This basically shows the process of also producing items that is now available within Business Central. Now we've seen how we procure items, how we sell items. But of course, the end of the process here is that at some point of time, we've paid the invoices. We've got also invoices paid from the customers. And then we need to reconcile our bank payments. And in this case, we would be able to import bank transactions, and we'll now need to reconcile with the entries we have within Business Central. Again, we're using intelligence here because we have added what we call apply automatically, and it will basically go in, read through all the transactions within the system. And in this case, we can see here 6 payment lines of 6 are applied. So here you can see even with the match confidence, whether it's medium or low. So that means whether it's matched on amount, whether the text also matched, and so on. So even intelligence in this part where we do the bank reconciliation.
Thank you, Yannick. Let's talk now more about making smart business decisions faster. All this data across different processes within a system is not of use to a customer unless they can make smart business decisions faster. With Dynamics 365 Business Central, we bring all this data to the customer and use advanced predictive analytics techniques to bring them insights into the business to empower them to make smarter decisions faster. I would now like to invite Klaus to give us a demo of that.
Thank you, Marco. So let's have a look at how we bring the intelligent cloud into Business Central. And I'm in my accountant role center, and I want to point your attention to the chart called Cash Flow Forecast, where we use Cortana Intelligence and Azure Intelligence to look at historical data in your company and predict the future cash flow of that same company. You'll see the red part here in the chart is actually a future prediction on how your cash flow is going to evolve as time goes by. I'm in the Business Manager role center, and here I want to show you what Business Central can give you in terms of analytics and allowing you to look at the data that you have in your system. Here I have access to Power BI reports that are made available to me as a user of Business Central. I can switch between the reports that I have available right here, so that instead of looking at financials data, I'm looking at sales data. If I want to take a deeper look at the data, I can expand the report to full screen. And in here, I have access to various tabs in my Power BI report. I can switch to my dashboard. That allows me to take a look at my items sold by quantity. And if I want to filter on a specific item, I can do that by clicking the item and it will filter everything in my dashboard for me. Moving on to items, let's take a look again at where we bring the Intelligent Cloud into Business Central. As you'll see here at the bottom of the screen, I have item availability forecast available to me as I look at my items. This is also a Cortana intelligence that we've allowed to take a look at historical data to try to predict the future availability of my item. This will filter as I browse through the list of items and show me contextual data based on the item that I'm looking at. Going to the top of the screen, I again have access to Power BI reports based on the specific item that I've marked on my screen. I'm in my customer list, and I've been contacted by a customer that wants to buy some furniture. So I want to take a look at Tray Research and create a sales order based on what they asked me. As I open Tray Research and try to create a sales order, I get a notification at the top of the screen saying that this particular customer has an overdue balance. If I click Show Details, I can get a closer view of the data available to me from Business Central on this specific customer. I can look at the outstanding balance, and I can even take action and send a finance charge memo to them right here while I'm creating my sales order. If I choose to go on and create the sales order, which I will, they ask me for some chairs, and I know that they wanted 16 chairs. As I enter that number into my Business Central screen, I get another notification telling me that the stock of this particular chair is low. If I click Show Details, I'll get a notification that my inventory is short, and I can create a purchase invoice for this item right here while creating my sales order. As I do that, I'm notified that this vendor that I usually buy this chair from also sells me other items that are also low on stock, and I'm asked whether or not I want to add them to the document that I'm creating. If I click this, it will autofill the lines with what I need based on the inventory forecast that we saw previously. So I know that I'm going to need 50 chairs. So I'll go and fill that out, and I can send my purchase order to this vendor.
Thank you, Klaus. For modern businesses, it's extremely important that they can start quickly with their solution. It is also important that they can grow as their business needs grow. With Dynamics 365 Business Central, we allow customers to tailor their businesses to the specific needs, get started quickly with a new, modern, and refreshed user experience, and as the business needs evolve, adapt that experience to the specific needs of the different roles in their business. I would now like to invite Jasper to show us a demo of that.
So let me start by talking to you about personalization, how you can tailor Business Central to your particular personal work style and your particular needs. So in front of me, we have the role center. Now, the role center is already optimized for your role in your organization. And as you can see, we have tiles and we have numbers that are already helping you to do your everyday work. But we can take it even further, and you can personalize the role center from right in Business Central. If you go to Settings, you'll see that we have a menu called Personalize. In personalization mode, I can now drag and drop sections of the role center to fit my particular need and how I would like things to look when I do my everyday work. I can, for instance, let's go into the items list and do some changes there. Here I can decide where I want my freeze pane to be placed. I can also add more fields by going to more and then adding fields to my list by dragging and dropping them into the list. And when I'm done, I just press the done button, and now my Business Central experience has been optimized to my particular work style and my particular needs. Now let me talk to you about the in-app designer. The in-app designer gives me the opportunity to not only create personalization for my personal need, but to create customizations for everyone across my organization. You'll find the in-app designer the same place as you find the personalization in the settings menu. That will take me into the in-app designer mode. And from there, I can do many of the things I just showed you with personalization. I can drag around fields, and I can rename areas, and so forth. But when I'm done doing my changes, things are a little bit different. Because when I press the Stop Designing button, that's when Business Central will take the changes I just created and convert them into an extension. You can even take an extension and do code changes and integration work with the extension. And this takes me to the last part I would like to talk to you about, App Source. In App Source, you can find extensions that are professionally created by thousands of partners. And those extensions can be integrated to the Microsoft Power Suite, such as Power Apps for creating business applications across devices, or Microsoft Power BI for doing business intelligence and smart decision making, and Flow for creating workflows and integration across different systems. Since it's possible to extend the solution with apps from Microsoft App Source, our customers can choose to work with our global network of partners that have deep industry knowledge and expertise and help customers customize the solution for individual organizational needs.
Thank you, Jasper. We are extremely excited about Dynamics 365 Business Central. We believe it offers a collection of unprecedented capabilities to customers to run their modern businesses successful. We suggest you contact your local partners who can give you a deeper information about Dynamics 365 Business Central. We're extremely excited about this, and we're looking forward to your success stories with Business Central.